Boeing is a magnet for trouble and challenges. The $20 billion contract for the sixth-generation stealth aircraft had lifted the spirits of this aviation icon. But as always, the optimism and hope was short-lived. In April 2025, the recent US-China tariff war jeopardized Boeing as well, not just in dollars, but also in dominance. Once the preferred supplier for China's booming aviation sector, Boeing now finds itself watching from the sidelines. Deals vanish, deliveries stall, and rivals move in. China, once Boeing's crown jewel of foreign sales, is pivoting. Tariffs, political friction, and homegrown players like COMAC. It's the perfect storm no one saw coming. And the worst part? Boeing can't do anything about it. It's stuck between Washington's hardline trade policies and Beijing's retaliatory playbook. It's not just a trade war anymore. It's a war of survival. So, who'll come out victorious in the end? Trump, China, or Boeing? Stay tuned. Also, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button? There's no tariff on that, for sure. At least not yet. Now, let's rewind the reel a bit. It all started when Trump returned to the White House and kicked off 2025 with a bang. On February 1st, he dropped Executive Order 14,195. He declared a national emergency and hit Chinese imports with a 10% tariff right out of the gate. And surprise, that was just the warm-up act. By March, the tariffs climbed to 20%, and by April, the figure had turned into a whopping 145%. The whole thing snowballed into a trade avalanche, and like clockwork, China clapped back with a 125% tariff on American exports. Guess what made the list? Yep, aviation. Boeing. Things really hit turbulence when Beijing told its airlines to stop accepting Boeing jets. Planes ready for delivery? Rejected. New orders? Non-existent. China, once Boeing's billion-dollar golden goose, suddenly started looking elsewhere. And the timing couldn't be worse. Airbus is already circling overhead like a hawk, scooping up lost deals. And then there's COMAC, China's own aircraft maker, rising fast with state backing and a not-so-subtle political push. Beijing isn't just buying locally for economic reasons, it's sending a message. Boeing's CEO tried to spin it, called China's move unfortunate. Investors called it something else, catastrophic. Behind the scenes, U.S. aviation lobbyists are scrambling, begging Washington for tariff exemptions, pleading with Beijing for negotiations. But let's be real. This isn't just about trade. It's two global powers in a bare-knuckle brawl over who controls the skies. Ryanair is warning it may walk away from Boeing orders if tariffs stay. Analysts predict Boeing could lose up to $10 billion in future sales to China. Chinese state media's calling Boeing collateral damage in a White House stunt. You can't make this stuff up. According to a recent Reuters report, China's Commerce Ministry acknowledged that U.S.-imposed tariffs have severely impacted both Chinese airlines and Boeing. This statement came after Boeing returned 3 737 MAX aircraft from China to the U.S., as Chinese customers declined to accept new deliveries amid escalating trade tensions. Planes meant for Chinese skies are being flown back to U.S. soil. That's right, brand new 737 MAX jets are doing U-turns. The reason? Beijing slapped retaliatory tariffs on U.S. aircraft, and Chinese airlines won't touch them at that price. Boeing CEO Kelly Ortberg, trying to hold the line, says he's confident the trade war won't derail recovery or production. But let's be real. That confidence may be doing little to stop the bleeding. One airline executive who's not mincing words is Michael O'Leary, CEO of Ryanair. He just warned they might ditch Boeing orders altogether if prices jump due to tariffs. And here's the kicker. He even said Ryanair could look at Chinese-made COMAC jets instead if they're just 10 to 20% cheaper than Airbus. Yes, Chinese jets, built by COMAC, the very competitor that Beijing is now aggressively propping up. And COMAC isn't just a sideshow anymore. Their narrow-body C919 is already flying in domestic service. The big boys, Airbus and Boeing, they're starting to feel that pressure. But wait, there's more. COMAC's working on a wide-body aircraft too, the C929. Originally a joint effort with Russia, China's now taking full control. It's a long-haul beast designed to compete directly with Boeing's 787 and Airbus's A350. Even Europe's regulators are now paying attention. The EU Aviation Safety Agency says it'll take 3 to 6 years to certify COMAC's C919 for European skies. But the fact that they're even considering it? That's new. That's big. So what is the supposed fate of Boeing's jets? Surprisingly, Beijing's loss might just be someone else's gain. With China turning its back on Boeing, other nations are eyeing those undelivered jets like hawks. India, for instance, is reportedly in talks to acquire up to 10 of these planes for Air India, aiming to update its fleet amidst surging domestic air travel demand. Riyadh Air, Saudi Arabia's ambitious new carrier, isn't sitting idle either. CEO Tony Douglas has openly expressed interest in snapping up the jets China no longer wants, signaling a strategic move to expand their fleet rapidly. Malaysia Airlines is also reportedly in discussions with Boeing to acquire some of these aircraft, seeking to modernize its fleet and capitalize on the opportunity presented by the US-China trade tensions. Boeing, for its part, is actively seeking new buyers for up to 50 aircraft initially destined for Chinese airlines. CEO Kelly Ortberg has indicated that the company is confident in redirecting these planes to other markets, emphasizing the strong global demand for aircraft. However, it's not all smooth sailing. Reconfiguring these jets to meet the specific requirements of new buyers can be both time-consuming and costly. Cabin layouts, seating arrangements, and other specifications tailored for Chinese carriers may not align with the preferences of new customers, necessitating significant modifications. Despite the challenges, the situation is the textbook example of how the global aviation industry works. As geopolitical tensions rise and reshape old trade relationships, airlines worldwide are ready to steal opportunities to expand and modernize their fleets. For them, this setback is just another advantage. So yeah, Boeing might still find homes for these orphaned jets. But the bigger question is, how long can it keep playing musical chairs in a geopolitical minefield? In the end, it isn't just about jet fuel and fuselages. It's about who gets to dominate the skies for the next 50 years. Washington wants leverage, Beijing wants independence, and Boeing wants to survive. So what happens next? Will the tariffs ease? Will diplomacy take off again? Or will Boeing remain grounded in a war it can't even fight? Let us know in the comments below. In the meantime, we'll keep our radar locked on every twist in this high-stakes flight path. No tariffs, just turbulence.